My little dragon, my little dragon. My
Ship's
little
destroyed.
dragon.
And there goes all the people from the ship.
And now they're going on to an island.
Everything went to ship.
And everything had went to ship. Killed a pig, cut its head.
This is a big ship, he said. And then, about 10 minutes later, after we were protecting it from all the weirdos,
It just sunk.
sometimes it's not an insider job, it's actually a dragon's job. Or a kraken, or whatever the hell that was. So this is Wise 8. Was it Lamusa? Luminosa?
Lamgroshka Dana.
Now you're still stuck in Mother Russia bleeds mode.
Yeah.
Mother Russia with the kraken. So, some RPGs, I'm just gonna say, you fight, like pretty much the first minute you're in a battle and like, it puts you right into the story. This RPG is like, hey guys, my name's Doggy. It reminds me of that whole thing. My name's Pee-Pee. From like a year ago, whenever that was. This game, wow, there's just a wall of text at the beginning. It's like, come on. I know there's 7 games before this. I know this game came out in like the NES/era, but yeah.
I've never heard of this until now.
I've known of this game. I guesstimate it's like 20, 25 years. It's a long-running series. It's up there with like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest.
And the Tales of series.
The music's actually pretty damn good. The little we can hear, but I know in the series the music's always been like guitar-based, rocking.
Very operatic at times.
My main criticism of this game is the wall of text. Like, this game goes for like $60, so you know going in like it should be pretty darn polished. And it got translated. Obviously, it's not a North American game, and like it's like an action RPG, but you move quickly, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's hard. We found it really easy. At least I know we're at the beginning of the game, but even on normal, it seemed like easier than I thought. But maybe I'm just thinking of the classic RPGs where you have to grind. This game's more about exploring. It's really...
I think that's...
And the first few games in the series were 2D based, so this is really different. This is more like Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Toot.
This actually reminds me more of like a Minecraft or a Starbound.
And there's crafting, yeah. I think we didn't see that much. Like, really, there's a lot of talking at the beginning, and like you're on security duty.
A lot of plot setup. You're a sailor.
Yeah.
You're put on security duty. Then a kraken comes, wrecks your shit.
Yeah, and you get stranded pretty much. And I don't think that spoils like anything. It's pretty much
It's
the
literally
whole
the
game
first
is focused.
It's actually the first 85 minutes of the game.
Yeah, which is really nothing for most RPGs.
Which, to put in perspective, is basically just the first 15 minutes of an action game. Like, let's I'm gonna jump off from your thing. Do you remember Metal Gear Solid 5? How it began with you in the hospital, and there's like just like a 5-minute cutscene of like.
That was a bit more extended than even this. At least this you can move around. And like, it just took forever for you to actually like do something other than talk.
But like, it gets you right in the action quicker.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because in like 5 minutes, you're already getting attacked by an assassin, and you're being saved by some dude named Ahab, or no, Ishmael.
Well, the names in this game is kind of weird.
Yeah.
One guy's name is Doggy.
Another is Cafu.
Yeah, and then there's like Afroka.
Yeah, the names of the settings are like Afroka.
I don't know. I think just more the character
Roman,
names and
Darman.
You can tell like the way that it's set up, like the girl, like just the way that the girl is hiding in the quarters and then runs out, and it's kind of cheesy, but not too cheesy.
Yeah.
But the graphics are pretty good.
The graphics are good. The music's alright. I like it.
I like the music. I think they did a better job with the music, which is always, from what I remember, the first few games, it's always like, to me, my favorite part of the series.
Well, most
JRPGs
JRPGs
also supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Some of the Wise games. This one starts off okay. again, it's kind of hard to review a game off of 1 hour, especially an RPG. But so far, I thought it was pretty cool. It's my main complaint is like, and a lot of RPGs are like this. Like the dialogue's kind of like.
It takes a while for you to get right into the meat of the game.
Yeah.
I know, and I know your example. There's one.
The voice acting's pretty good. I didn't think it was. I thought it was pretty polished. But yeah, the main thing is like the wall of text. That's like there's some voice acting, some wall of text.
God Eater. You remember God Eater?
Yeah,
that game
what I was
got
saying.
you right into the action quicker.
Yeah, I enjoyed this more than God Eater. In some ways, like I know a lot of people like God Eater, but I couldn't get into it, and I found this game, even though it was like more minimalistic with the graphics
and more minimalistic,
it just seemed more interesting to me. Like just, it's a really basic plot so far. I don't think they'll get too out there. I so far it's not really like a classic RPG to me. I'm not a big crafter, so if that's like the basis for a lot of things in this game, but I think it's more about if you want to do the side quests, because we saw on the ship you can, but if you just want to follow the main quest, they have arrows that tell you like
more like diamonds, and they're like, hey, here's this big part of the thing.
Yeah, and they introduced like it seems like they introduced, as far as we know, all the characters in the game at the beginning.
Almost every character.
Yeah,
because there are some characters that we haven't seen in cutscenes.
Yeah.
Well, no. In the opening of the game, after the Kraken sinks their ship, there are still some characters we haven't been introduced to yet.
I see. The thing is, like, I don't find the main hero that interesting. I don't know if he's supposed to be kind of generic, but the actual action I thought was interesting. Like, you know.
Yeah, I kind of find it weird that they just have this. Okay, it's always weird how they have this fixed protagonist. Mm-hmm. You can't change his name. You can't change his gender.
Yeah,
you can't change anything about him.
It's the same thing with Harry Potter, though. To use a recent example, the reason why Harry Potter is like so basic and they don't really go into his hobbies so much is you're supposed to be Harry Potter. You're supposed to be thinking like same with Luke Skywalker. That's the reason why these characters are kind of bland, because you're supposed to imagine yourself.
Yeah, but that's one aspect. But I'm talking about a whole different aspect where they have the character already lined up, but they don't have the voice for that character.
Yeah, and it works. It can work. In Chrono Trigger, I feel like it worked. Like this, it sort of works, but I feel like this game is still good, but depending on how it goes from here, without having invested 10 hours into it, like, yeah, it seems like a lot better than a lot of the RPGs now. I find, like, we're kind of spoiled by ports of, like, classic ones, but I feel like as a
Except for Secret of Mana.
Yeah, that's just a remake, demake, depending on how you see it. I'd say this is one of the better modern ones. If you're compared to, like, classics, then, yeah, it doesn't seem as interesting to me. But I'd say, like, as a modern RPG, it seems like there's a lot to this game, so...
I'm basing this heavily off first impressions.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
Because we can't do much beyond that. But I'd give it at least 7.5. It seems interesting.
I like the whole aspect of, like, this whole story takes place on an island.
Yeah.
You can go places with this.
And I like how you can choose your own replies, like, depending on your personality. I thought that was
you're only limited on like 2 choices, but like sometimes those times will make it really, really intense.
Yeah.
For instance, you can choose between asking someone if they saw the giant tentacle monster or if they know what island they're on.
Yeah, so I mean, it's different branches, and it sort of feels like more of an adventure game than an RPG in that sense. Like, it gives a little twist, so that's why I thought it was more interesting than it being like straight up your character can't speak. At least you have like some input on it, some feedback.
I give this game an 8 out of... No, not even an 8, a 9 out of 5, because this whole premise is interesting. You can go anywhere with it. Mm-hmm. It's basically like I'm getting a bit of a Lord of the Flies feel from this kind of game.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's if we are on the island the whole time, because I mean, we've seen the intro with the dragon flying around. Like, I'm not sure if that's still the same island. Like,
I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface of the island.
I'm not sure if it's totally just crafting or there are actually shops. I assume there are shops somewhere, but
we are getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
I say check the game for yourself and see if this is a good adventure for you.
Yeah, if you're looking for something that isn't Zelda, you're sick of Zelda, then This is a cool real-time action game. And yeah, I saw like we started to get the upgrades and abilities, and I thought they were pretty neat. You know, just to see it all happening. This is sort of like Final Fantasy 15, but like more cartoonish, lighter tone and everything.
Which is
Less
why
cutscenes.
Which is why I doubt it's going to go full on Lord of the Flies, because that book was dark.
So far, this is the opposite, with people talking to you in their sleep with their eyes closed.
Yep, and that's how we're going to review this game from now on.
Yep. Keep on gaming. We'll see you again if we can see.
Bye-bye. Bye.